Look around almost any major port in the world and you'll see thousands of colorful steel boxes stacked neatly on ships, trains, and trucks. Whether they're carrying electronics from Asia, coffee from South America, or cars from Europe, these containers all seem remarkably similar. They have familiar shapes, similar widths, and standardized corner fittings that allow them to be stacked like giant building blocks. But why is that? Why didn't every shipping company create its own container sizes? And how can a single steel box work across so many different vehicles, countries, and industries? In this video, we'll explore why shipping containers are all the same size, how these standards were created, and why the entire global economy depends on them right here on History of Simple Things. Before standardized shipping containers existed, transporting goods across long distances was slow, expensive, and labor-intensive. Cargo arrived at ports in countless forms, including wooden crates, barrels, sacks, boxes, and bundles. Every individual item had to be loaded and unloaded by hand whenever it switched from a truck to a train or a ship. This process, known as break bulk shipping, often took days and required hundreds of dock workers. Besides consuming time, it also increased the chances of theft, damage, and lost cargo because goods were handled repeatedly. Different ports and shipping companies also had different loading methods, making international trade even less efficient. As global commerce expanded after World War II, businesses realized this old system could no longer keep up with growing demand. The shipping industry desperately needed a simpler method that would allow cargo to move seamlessly between different forms of transportation without being unpacked at every stop. The modern shipping container owes much of its success to American trucking entrepreneur Malcolm McLean. In the 1950s, McLean noticed that trucks often spent far more time waiting at ports than actually driving. He believed the cargo itself shouldn't be moved piece by piece. Instead, the entire trailer body, or eventually a separate steel container, could simply be lifted onto a ship. In 1956, his company launched the first successful container ship carrying dozens of standardized containers. The concept proved revolutionary. Loading times dropped from days to hours, labor costs fell dramatically, and cargo arrived with fewer losses and less damage. Other shipping companies quickly recognized the advantages and began adopting similar systems. However, widespread success required more than a clever idea. Every company needed containers that could fit on each other's ships, trucks, trains, and cranes. That meant agreeing on common dimensions and construction standards that everyone could follow. The reason shipping containers appear to be the same size is because international standards define their external dimensions. The most common containers are 20 feet and 40 feet long, both measuring approximately 8 feet wide and 8 feet 6 inches high. There is also a taller version called the high cube container, which stands 9 feet 6 inches high while keeping the same length and width. These dimensions weren't chosen randomly. They provide an efficient balance between cargo capacity, transportation limits, and structural strength. Standard widths allow containers to fit safely on trucks, trains, and ships around the world. Standard corner castings also ensure cranes can lift every container using the same equipment. Because manufacturers follow identical specifications, containers from different companies can be stacked securely together. This compatibility allows millions of containers to travel across international transportation networks without requiring specialized vehicles or custom handling equipment. Creating identical container sizes required global cooperation. During the 1960s, the International Organization for Standardization, better known as ISO, established standards that defined container dimensions, strength requirements, corner fittings, identification markings, and testing procedures. These ISO standards became the universal language of global shipping. Today, a container built in China can be loaded onto a ship in Singapore, transferred onto a train in Germany, and finally delivered by truck in the United States without needing any modifications. Ports around the world invest billions of dollars in cranes, storage yards, and transport systems designed specifically around these standards. If every company produced different size containers, ports would require countless specialized machines and storage layouts, creating massive inefficiencies. Standardization allows shipping companies, rail operators, trucking firms, and ports to work together smoothly, regardless of who owns the cargo or where it's traveling. Although most shipping containers follow standard external dimensions, they aren't all exactly the same. Different cargo requires different types of containers while still maintaining standardized outside measurements. Refrigerated containers, known as reefers, carry food, medicine, and other temperature-sensitive products using built-in cooling systems. Tank containers transport liquids and chemicals inside large cylindrical tanks mounted within steel frames. Open-top containers allow oversized cargo to be loaded from above, while flat racks carry heavy machinery or construction equipment that won't fit inside enclosed boxes. There are also specialized containers designed for livestock, automobiles, and hazardous materials. Even though their interiors vary greatly, nearly all maintain the same standardized corner fittings and external footprints. This allows specialized containers to be handled by the same cranes, stacked alongside regular containers, and transported using the same ships, trains, and trucks without disrupting the global logistics system. Shipping containers may look like simple steel boxes, but their standardized size is a key part of global trade. Common dimensions let ships, trains, trucks, cranes, and ports work together efficiently, saving time and money. Even specialized containers usually follow the same standards. The next time you buy an imported product, it may have traveled thousands of miles in one of these containers, quietly keeping modern commerce moving. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.